beginner should understand what is their expectation from a yoga class. Some people, why they do not stick to yoga is because they do not know what they're looking for. Like say Swati is looking for mental wellness but goes for a power yoga session and ends up feeling more exhausted and then ends up thinking yoga is not for me. So what is wrong here? Swati chose the wrong class, or Swati did not discuss her goals with the trainer. One of the misconceptions is that whatever physical goal you have, yoga can help you with that. Second misconception is yoga is only for women, it's not for men. You would say this, so many times. I was a person who knew from the beginning that yoga is not just about the body, it's also about the mind.
Vanakkam, namaste, and hello everyone. Welcome to the 30th episode of Inside the Minds of Great Yogis. In today's episode, we have a very special guest joining us. And to start off, she's a celebrity yoga trainer and an advocate of yoga for a great physical, mental, and emotional well-being. Gunjan quit her 8-year-long stint with the corporate to follow her dream. She founded Equilibrium Mind and Yoga in March 2020 and never looked back. According to Gunjan, yoga is not just limited to achieving a certain posture. Let's give a big round of applause to Gunjan Kamra.
Thank you, Swati, for this beautiful introduction. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to be finally, talking about my yoga journey, because I think it's been long that I have communicated with people and shared the mutual love for yoga with people. So I'm happy. Thank you for inviting me. I'm really looking forward to this.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Gunjan. I'm so excited to hear your perspective of yoga. So to start off, how did your journey of yoga begin?
So I will tell you that my mother has been my biggest inspiration, and the people who have registered for my programs, they know about the same, because my mother keeps coming for classes. She has been doing yoga she started in her late 30s when I was maybe a teen, and I used to see my mom do yoga first thing in the morning. So that is something which I have seen when I was a child. And then when I was in college, I got a disc injury. I don't know from where did I get it. One day I got up in the morning and I was not able to move. And that's when I realized, at that point of time, I was, I think, 17 or 18. And I realized that physical well-being is so important. You need to focus on your physical well-being. So once that injury happened, the therapist that I went to suggested yoga, and my mother, of course, was telling me from years that you should do yoga every day, yoga every day, yoga every day. So the first format of workout that I ever did was yoga, and I was hooked onto it. So I have been an advanced yoga practitioner for over 12 years now. I've been practicing yoga for 12 years. For anything that happened to me, I was working in a corporate. I was constantly having neck issues, back issues. When I started working for long hours, it started affecting my mental wellness as well. As you can understand that, we are put under so much pressure unannounced when we start working, and there's so much responsibility and ownership that comes with work as well, managing your personal life, alone, living away from home. So I think a lot of stress was there, and I only could find my peace and my happy place in yoga. So I think that I would say, I'm gonna do yoga and feel better. Like, I think I need to get to the mat. I would say that, I would get up and I would get up early only for yoga. You can't wake me up for anything, but if I have to do yoga, I would be early. I would be, on the mat. And when I'm on the mat, it was difficult for me to, 2 hours would pass and I wouldn't know. So over the years, I realized that this is something which comes naturally to me. Only when something comes naturally to you, not naturally like it's easy for me. Naturally means I look forward to it. I do not want to run away from it. I know the benefits of it, and I want to, I see the benefits, so I want to go back to it again and again, and I want to enhance myself also in this skill. So I think over the years, I realized that this is something I love, and that's how my journey also started. And I think, of course, because of the health issues that I had, and because my mother was also there, so constant reminder to get back to yoga all the time was there as well, from a health perspective. And yoga is best for any type of therapeutic issues that you're facing, like stress, back issues, neck issues, sciatica, disc, and all that, which I told that I was facing at one or the other point. So that also kept me going back to yoga.
I think that's well said. Thank you for sharing that, Gunjan. And one kind of connection or something I can relate to you is that my mom also was the one who got me into yoga as well. And after that, I absolutely fell in love with the practice. So I can definitely relate with you on that. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. And the next question I want to come into is, what is equilibrium yoga and what is your inspiration behind it?
So when I started Equilibrium, that was in March 2020, and I have been, there was a battle in the mind and, your heart. If you should leave your corporate, and if you should leave your well-paying job, well-settled job, and start something of your own. So I had this thing for, I think I was in this battle for many, many years before it became very clear that I do want to leave my job. This is not my purpose. This is not something I enjoy. At the end of the day, if I'm feeling that I'm just passing my days and not living my life, that was something which was my entire 2019. So the entire 2019 was the phase where I knew every day that I do not want to be here. And it was like something inside me was so pressing that, I don't care about the money. I do not care about the discomfort that's going to come. I do not care about the uncertainty that lies ahead of me. I do not want to be here. This is not what I want to do. So I think when I started Equilibrium, I was very sure. And when I was a person who knew from the beginning that yoga is not just about the body, it's also about the mind. So when I mentioned mind and yoga, it's mind is first and yoga is later, because it all starts in the mind. Even when you have to go to a deeper, advanced physical practice, it first starts in your mind with the dedication or motivation or just the thought that I want to get there. So, and equilibrium is something which I think is my motto in life as well. That without equilibrium, we will not be able to sustain for a longer period of time. And yoga actually brings that equilibrium. So EQ started with the same motto that we want to help people and we want to, solve the issues which everyone is facing. You can be in any profession. You are struggling with mental wellness today. You are struggling with a balance in your life today. And we want to become um, a means to help you through yoga and through meditation techniques, through breathing techniques, through the basically power of yoga only. But we want to get that equilibrium in your life with the tool that we have, which is yoga.
Wow, that's incredible, and I hope that many people are benefiting from your initiative, Equilibrium Mind and Yoga. So yeah, thank you for the work that you're doing through Equilibrium. I hope it's benefiting a lot of people. So the next question I want to come into is, what should a beginner keep in mind before starting yoga?
So I think a beginner should just think of getting to the mat, without a lot of overthinking. Just get to your practice. If you are coming to the practice anyhow, just bringing yourself to the mat, you will be getting better at it. So one thing is no overthinking, no skipping your sessions. What happens? We find something. Say one is difficult, two is not my comfort zone, three is not my style of practice, or because you people sometimes take time to understand the benefits of yoga, understand how it heals you internally, how it also helps you release stored tension which has been there for years and all that. So give it time is one, I would say. Just commit to it for a month and then get to that class however you feel, to basically see the changes and to experience the changes. To stick to it is one, I would say. And two is that I would suggest that a beginner should understand what is their expectation from a yoga class. Some people, why they do not stick to yoga is because they do not know what they're looking for. Like, say Swati is looking for mental wellness but goes for a power yoga session and ends up feeling more exhausted and then ends up thinking yoga is not for me. So what is wrong here? Swati chose the wrong class, or Swati did not discuss her goals with the trainer, with the studio, whatever. So understand what you're looking for And yoga can help you with any goal that you have. It can be a physical goal, that I want to lose weight, I want to I want to get strong arms, I want to get flexible body, I want to, like, it can be all the physical goals, and it can then be all the mental goals, like I want to feel more positive, feel more productive, feel less stressed, feel less anxious, get better sleep, all those mental goals. And then it can also be therapeutic goals, like I want to I have PCOS, I want to get out of it. I have thyroid, I have migraine, I have back pain, shoulder pain. Whatever goals you have today, first make a list of the goals and then get to a class which can cater to that, because then only you'll see the benefits of it. Of course, if you go to a power yoga class, it will still help you mentally, but it you might feel that I am being pushed at a point where I just want to be slowed down. You're pushing me to run faster, but what I want you to help me slow down. So that is what. So keep your goals in mind and find the right class with you. Talk to a specialist, talk to a teacher. Third thing is learn with a teacher. Is I always tell beginners, learn with the teacher, because as a beginner, everything you do is muscle memory. You do it wrong today, it will be a muscle memory for you, and then you will take months to come out of that movement or that way of yoga, that style, or that bad posture that you have developed, or maybe you get injured as well. So as a beginner, start with a teacher. Do not stick or do not rely to YouTube at all. Of course, you can do it once you have built the base, but just the base of it. Make sure that you understand the importance of a teacher in your yoga practice in the beginning, at least. And then, of course, you can build on it through any platform you want. So these are my tips.
Yeah, thank you for sharing those tips, Gunjan. I hope that everyone who has yet to listen to this episode will definitely gain some understanding as well as benefit from these tips and use them. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. And the next question I want to come into is, how has yoga contributed to your overall health?
So as I mentioned, yoga has been my primary movement format from years. It's been my only movement format or the primary movement format. I've done a lot of workouts. I have done gymming, I've done dancing, I've done swimming, I've run half marathons as well. But yoga was always my primary thing, and rest of it is on the side of it. Like, as the side dish, yoga was the main, meal, and the rest of it was always this. And I realized that when yoga helped me, because I was very, very, I was not a person who was working out in my childhood. I did not have a strong body. But whatever I can do today, however strong I feel about my body, is through the yoga practices. So physically, it gave me confidence. It made me much more stronger. I now feel confident that, I can do any posture. It's not about, and it is only through yoga. So one myth that I also, when I was a beginner and I used to work out, people would say that, you need to go to the gym to strengthen yourself, and yoga safe strengthening will not happen and all that. But over the years, I stuck to the format that I liked, and I am today, wherever physically I am, it's all because of yoga. I have not done any other strengthening. So it has helped me, first of all, with strengthening my body, which is the outer layer, which needs to be strong for me to perform at my best. And then, of course, it has helped me mentally immensely. Why? Because I now run a company, and it is like I have my primary job from a yoga instructor is now more towards entrepreneurship, running my business smoothly. And there is so much that happens on a day-to-day basis. I don't think I would have sustained this without my yoga practice. I wouldn't have, because first of all, you do not have that much physical strength to go on for such long hours, and you also do not have the mental patience and capacity to go through so many challenges on a daily basis. Third thing is, yoga also helps me rest and relax better, because I do yoga nidra on almost a day-to-day basis. I, even when I sleep less, because I can do yoga nidra, I feel energized for the rest of the day. So those are the things. It does help me with all the aspects that I mentioned.
Thank you for sharing that. And I think that's well said. And, yoga does have a lot of benefits, and it can really help with our mental health as well as our overall well-being. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. And the next question I would like to come into is, what is a common misconception in yoga that you would like to change?
So again, the first common misconception, or it's also one of my goals. And when I started EQ, because I've been doing yoga for 8, 9 years, then as well, I knew that there are so many myths around yoga. And at that point of time, my idea was that I want to break those myths. I want to, I want to introduce, or I want to educate people about what they don't know, and they just hear from from random sources, and they believe about yoga. So one of the misconception is that yoga cannot strengthen your body. As I mentioned, that yoga is not good enough for strengthening. You need to go to a gym workout, or you need to do something else, body conditioning, strengthening for developing strength. But yoga postures, if you see the advanced yoga postures or the intermediate yoga postures, they do help you strengthen your entire body much more than they are not just helping you with strengthening, they are helping you with multiple things. They are helping with strengthening, flexibility, balance together. There are so many much more benefits. So they are not just adding what another format is adding, they are adding 2 more or 3 more benefits or additions on top of that. So one of the misconception is that whatever physical goal you have, yoga can help you with that. Second misconception is yoga is only for women, it's not for men. You would say this, so many times. Third misconception is that yoga is slow. It's not like that. Yoga can be as fast as you want it. It depends on your goal. If you've done a power yoga class, it moves, you move very fast in that. Or if it's a movement class, there are movements happening quite faster. But if it's a class where we want to slow down intentionally, because we have a fast moving life anyways, and we want to slow down and we want to be in the moment. That's why yoga is slow in this class. So it very well depends on the goal. The next misconception is that yoga is only for flexibility. As I mentioned, that if you want to improve your flexibility, you should do yoga, otherwise it's not for you. So many misconceptions that we come across on a day-to-day basis. Like people would come to us and say that, I do gym, I now want to do one class because I have a lot of stress, so only for stress management I want to do yoga. Stress management is definitely one thing you can do with yoga, but not the only thing. So my goal, also one of my goals, and the goal of the company that I founded, is letting people realize that yoga can be your primary movement format, not the side dish. Yoga can be your primary movement format, and of course then other things you can, if you want to, if you enjoy it. Don't think that the format has limitations. The format has no limitation. If you like yoga, it can be a primary movement format, and it can help you with all the goals that you have. So these are the misconceptions which we come on a day-to-day basis about yoga.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And I think I've heard most of these misconceptions a lot, especially where women are more like doing yoga than men, and the one about flexibility. I think that one's pretty common. So I hope you like change them with your organization, Equilibrium Mind and Yoga. And yeah, thank you for sharing
I
that.
would like to add is, like, people say that women can't lift, and all the women in DQ, they do arm balances like a pro. So that is also one of our goals, that we want to show that women can do yoga, women can lift as well. So that is one misconception that we do break, very consciously on our social media from time to time, that our women are doing a lot of arm balances, and we are showing them that women can lift, and women don't need to go to the gym for that. They can lift while doing yoga, and they can lift their own body weights on their own palms, on their own hands, and they are strong. So those are also the goals, and are the company goals as well, is my vision as well, to be able to change all these misconceptions.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic. And I'm sure that you're going to definitely change these misconceptions, and more people would like start, believing more in the practices of yoga and like see it for themselves by actually giving it a shot. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. So now we have some rapid fire questions for you. And the first question that I would like to come into is, if you were to switch a profession, what would it be and why?
So the second thing that I love other than yoga is dance. I have trained professionally for Latin dancing, salsa and bachata for over 3 years, and I love dancing. I love Latin dancing. I'm not a good dancer otherwise, but I do enjoy, and I'm good at Latin dancing. So I think the second thing, the if yoga was not an option, maybe I would have tried. I would have tried being a Latin dancer or a performer or a teacher. because that does bring me joy. I'm not very good at it though, but I do love it and I do enjoy it. And I think talent can be acquired over time. So my passion is definitely there.
I think that's amazing. Latin dancing. I think that's such a great skill, and I think that's pretty cool. Like besides yoga. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. And the next question I want to come into is, what does your yoga routine look like?
So over the years, like in the last few years, when I started my own company, I have tried so many routines because my work timings are always changing. As an entrepreneur, you would think I would work on this, but then there will be an emergency and you will be working long hours and all that. So I have tried many routines, and the thing that works for me is that I work out first thing in the morning. I do my yoga practice first thing in the morning, irrespective of what time I sleep. It's not a good thing though, but whatever time I'm sleeping, my yoga practice is the first thing because after 8 a.m. in the morning, it's very difficult for me to not look at work. It's difficult for me to stay away from work. I have to get to work, and if there is an emergency or if there is something that I need to look at or needs my attention will go there. So before 8 o'clock is my yoga time. Some days it's 6 o'clock, some days it's 6:30, but it's the first thing in the morning, and I get done with it. And I know that it's so important for me that I don't want to skip it. And I don't want to keep it till the end. And I also know myself as a person that it's very hard for me to get distracted from work. It's very hard. I'm a very one-minded person. I can only do one thing at a time. If I'm working, I can only work. If I'm doing something, if I'm doing yoga, I can only do yoga. I cannot manage both. I take a break in between the day and I do 1 hour of yoga and not look at work. This is difficult. So I do it first thing in the morning.
Yeah, I think first thing in the morning is the best kind of time to do yoga.
Yes.
As you start your day and you go to work or have other commitments, I think it gives you a positive start and a good energy in the morning. So yeah, I think that's amazing. So thank you for sharing that. And the final,
I
yeah,
would like to add to it that there are people, we have clients who start work really early. Like, you would see people in the US starting work at 7 in the morning or 8
yeah,
in the morning. And they get up so early and they leave for their work around 6:37. So they don't really get time to work out in the morning. So ideally, I think it depends from a person to person and their routines. But of course, if you can get it done in the morning itself, it's fine. But if you're not able to get it done in the morning, anytime is okay. Evening is also okay. Before your dinner is okay. Late evenings are also okay. Many of our clients have their dinners around 6 and they do yoga at 9 o'clock, 9:30 as well. So I never suggest that there is a good time or a bad time. I always suggest the good time, the bad time, the best time depends on your schedule. It is tailored to your day. It cannot be the same for everyone, but of course if you get time to do it in the morning, finish it off, and the most important task for the day is done.
yeah. I think you're the person who determines what time of the day you would want to do
Okay,
yoga.
what what times of the day you're comfortable and you can sustain as well, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, Gunjan. And the final question I want to come into is, what goals do you hope to achieve through your yoga classes?
So as I told you, one of the vision that I have is making yoga or helping people understand that yoga can be their primary movement format. And when they understand that yoga is the primary movement format, or they should associate the name of equilibrium and Gunjan with yoga. So my biggest vision is that yoga should be the primary movement format and EQ should be the primary movement or yoga provided all over the world. We are already we are training virtually and we have clients from all over. And I only see growth and I only see bigger things for us. But of course, our motto is very linked to what our vision is, which is to educate people about yoga. And it's a format. I think now people are realizing the power of yoga. In the last 3 years, people have started doing it much more than before. But I also for the physical goals, also for the other goals. So that is the idea, to break the myths about yoga and to bring more awareness.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And as a female entrepreneur, at first, like it can be difficult to manage your schedules and also your yoga classes. So I hope you achieve these goals through Equilibrium Mind and Yoga, and I wish you the best for all the incredible work that you're yet to do. And so that is the end of our questions. Thank you so much for
And
joining us, Gunjan, on our 30th episode of Inside the Minds of Great Yogis. We really appreciate you giving your valuable time, and we hope we can do this again. And yeah,
looking forward.
yes, likewise. And thank you to everyone who has yet to listen to our 30th episode of Inside the Minds of Great Yogis. And until next time, have an amazing day, everyone. And thank you, Gunjan.
Thank you so much, Swati. Thank you for having me.